Pornography. Continuing with this exploration of the demonization of the goddess through natural sexuality, keep in mind that you cannot change your true nature no matter how much effort you put forth shaming, editing, and attempting to alter yourself and others. I will now speak on a situation that has grown up within Earth culture and that has a terrific hold over a number of people who inhabit your world in one way or another. This issue is that of pornography. The rate of addiction to it has skyrocketed in recent decades on your planet. This is not something that is often openly discussed because of the judgments about natural sexuality that are in place in your world. You are supposed to, in some way, limit your desire or channel it in certain directions and not in others, and many of you have been learning over the course of many lifetimes lived on the Earth timeline that what turns you on sexually either is or is probably not acceptable. You have also learned that just about everyone who surrounds you has strong opinions on how you should experience yourself as a sexual being, and this also has been in play for all of your soul's many lives. There is a culture of secrecy when it comes to how humans are truly wired to experience and desire sexual contact, and this topic can be, as a result, somewhat taboo. You shy away from discussing who you really are so that you can be and or remain socially, politically, philosophically, religiously, and economically acceptable. And this has forced natural parts of you down into dark basements and debris-laden corners within you, leaving you feeling unsafe, being just who you are. Yet now it is important that this be discussed openly, because the natural urges, desires, and needs within humans that are distorted into the creation of pornography as it exists on your planet now need attention. It is time that the level of dialogue about sexuality get drastically more consciously aware and open for all of you and for so many reasons. The genesis of pornography is that you seek to marry art and sexuality. This is a natural expression of who you are as you explore many routes to personal and collective sexual expression. You are creative and sexual beings. In truth, these aspects of yourself cannot be separated without you feeling a rift down the center of your being, and it is unnatural for these aspects of you to be divided. The cultures in which you have lived for these several thousand years have sought to overtly and directly separate sexuality from creativity. Those who perceive themselves as artists throughout human history often cannot follow through with such a separation, sometimes leading to difficult conclusions regarding the reactions of the culture shapers to what is created. Much of human history has included artists bringing their sexuality into their creative work, with individuals and the collective trying to figure out the right response to these people and their expressions. And so this is where the use and experience of these images begin. When I use the word pornography, however, a different sort of idea comes to your mind. Pornography, as it exists in your world, has become the place where natural human desires and urges can be expressed freely, or at least observed by others to be expressed freely. Yet because of the depth of the suppression of natural sexuality, it has in fact become a place where all manner of distortions and imbalances between the two natural energies play themselves out. When it becomes unacceptable for a human to pursue natural feelings and urges of any kind, they are bottled up and later expressed in distorted ways. This is simply the truth of how energies manifest in your consciousnesses and lives, because who you are cannot be denied. The control over natural sexuality that has been implemented in order that property be passed down through male lines has resulted in men and women in many ways not feeling comfortable expressing themselves naturally. The institution of marriage has resulted in, for many, the idea that, even if they are not consciously aware of it, the highest expression of human sexuality is procreation. You have been told that love is to be defined according to a few humans' ideas of who God is, and then that you are to live your lives according to these parameters of what love is and how it works. Yet your nature as sexual beings cannot possibly fit into this structure. There needs to be an outlet for the side of you that seeks a full expression of who you are on all levels, including sexuality, if you are to be healthy. Pornography and other avenues of what I will refer to here as the sex trade have become the places where it is acceptable for a man to desire without condition or fear the kind of woman he wants to be with and experience sexually, and for a woman to experience herself as a sexual being in a free way, at least insofar as if she has adopted the masculine view on what sex is, what she is to want, and how she is to behave. Footnote. Imagine your pornography including women who seek to open the hearts of men, who naturally gaze into the eyes of men seeking conscious communion with them. End of footnote. The judgments about pornography that have you shaming yourselves for seeking to express yourself in your fullness are confusing. Many of you feel that there is or must be something dirty about it, and those of you who seek to hide your interest or consumption of it are seeking in fact to keep your true nature under wraps. As consciousness is evolving, you can no longer afford to attempt to keep any parts of yourself under wraps because of shame and self-denial. Whatever it is that has been left out of your evolution, it is now time that you consciously reintegrate it. It is necessary that you at this time become fully conscious of who you are, what you want and need, and what it means to create health for yourself. The prevalence of interest in and addiction to pornography, then, is a result of shamed and denied parts of the self coming to the surface to demand attention. It is, in fact, no longer possible to split yourselves down the middle without causing yourself deep harm. These parts of humans, both male and female, are coming up to demand to be seen and felt. Given the amount of distortion of natural sexuality over the millennia, in order to uphold the patriarchal edict that sexuality be controlled to serve the purpose of property and power being handed down through male lines, is it any wonder at all that so many are hooked on pornography? Pornography and other parts of the sex trade on your planet have left a deep mark in your conscious awareness. There are cultural attitudes that have come to light and been discussed openly over the last several decades on your planet related to this. One I would like to focus on is what is called the objectification of women. This has come up for review in many ways through the lens of feminism, which, as I stated earlier, was in its beginning generated from anger, which is a reaction to a feeling of powerlessness following being hurt. Through the feminist movement, women felt empowered to demand to be seen for who they are, and not as sexual objects for the pleasure and benefit of men. This is all well and good, and yet, as always, I seek to show you the bigger picture of what is actually going on in a given situation. About this situation called the objectification of women, what has happened is that in your disconnection from the goddess, you have sensed a loss, a deep, profound loss. You have felt separated from half of who you really are, and individual women have become symbols of what is missing from your lives. This is how they can become objectified. This objectification of women is making her into a bridge to, hopefully, return to the goddess. This objectification is an attempt at idealization of love and longing for the goddess. Regardless of your gender and sexual orientation, each of you is, and has, for 6,000 years, craving connection to the divine feminine, the natural feminine, the goddess. You have the ability to see the goddess in each woman, and since you have lost your conscious connection with the goddess, you try to place your hope and faith in reconnection with her on individual women or women as a group. Can you see how this leads to the generation and consumption of pornography? You have not gotten what you need from your intimate lives with each other in many ways only because of how you have retrained to conceive of yourselves and how you are supposed to approach sexual union with each other. There will always be pornography on earth. It will always be used to titillate and excite, but its existence and consumption does not have to be a problem. The remedy to the imbalance when it comes to pornography on your planet is to foster reconnection with each other as you really truly are. You have a need to find the divine essence within yourself and open to share this with each other. Your sexual expression, in fact, holds keys to your divinity, to your experience of opening to and being love. The more intentional you are about what you are doing sexually, the more interested you are in connecting with those you are meeting sexually, the more this experience will lead to healing for you and all you are involved with. There needs now to be a radiance outward from all those who approach sexual interaction in a conscious way. It creates healing waves that will spread out. Choose to be free in acknowledging who you really are on all levels, including sexually. Commit to being free in your expression and to shedding millennia of judgments that are right this instant being carried in your body.